We've all heard the term New Year, New Me. The new year is a great time for New Year's resolutions to set the tone for the year ahead. That said, many get it so wrong, and come February, they've fallen off track and gone back to how they were in Q4 of the previous year. So here are 6 steps to optimize your health and performance in 2025. Step number 1 is to set clear goals. You've got to know where you're going. One of my favorite quotes is, if one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. You're simply treading water and going around in circles. So getting crystal clear with your goals and maybe using the SMART acronym: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and set over a set time frame. So are your goals specific to what you're looking to achieve? Are you tracking in some way, shape or form, whether that's an in-body machine in your local gym or even a DEXA scan, so you have some numbers to drive the decision-making process? Is it achievable? Are you actually setting a goal that is realistic? Because if you set a goal that is completely unattainable and you don't reach it and you're new to your training journey, it can become quite demoralizing, and then you can anchor a negative towards, oh, I don't like the gym, I always fail, and now I take that into the rest of my life. So that's really important as well. And then, is it realistic? Very similar. And then, is it set over a time frame? If you say, okay, I'm going to achieve this goal and not really put a timestamp on it, are you really going to be relentless towards achieving it? Probably not. It's like when someone sets the goal of a London Marathon. Well, we know with a London Marathon, it's on a specific date, it's not moving for anyone. So you've got to be ready. So when you have that outcome, that time, you reverse engineer, and then you put plan in place to reach that goal. So that is simply the SMART acronym, which can work pretty well for you. And you've got to get crystal clear with what success looks like and where you're going when it comes to goals. Number 2, this one is probably the most important out of all of them, is don't do too much too soon. We see this where, I liken it to a video game. People go from level 0 or level 1 and they'll want to go to level 6 or 7 right away, but they'll forget about level 2, 3, 4 and so on. And you cannot make that acute spike and jump. We know based on Tim Gavitt's research that an acute spike can really heighten injury risk. So you've got to be really, really careful. And this is where people are like, New Year, New Me, New Year's resolutions, and just slow things down. Don't go from 0 sessions over the past 6 months to 5 sessions a week. Though I can champion the intent, well done for making the shift, it will likely end in failure come February or March. So just start small, start where you stand, forget about others, and just get the wheels in motion. And that might initially look like 2 lifting sessions in the gym, and then maybe 1 cardiovascular based session to hit your 3 sessions per week. You do that for 4 weeks and then potentially add another session in month 2. Equally looking at things like daily non-negotiables. Are we getting 10,000 steps in a day? Are we drinking 2 to 3 litres of water? Are we trying to get maybe 7 hours sleep a night? Are we hitting our protein requirements of around 2 grams per kilo of body weight per day? So those small daily non-negotiables can have a profound impact. And we know based on James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, highly recommend it if you haven't read it and you are making a shift, 1% better every day yields a 37 times improvement over the course of a calendar year. So this is why don't do too much too soon is vitally important. Just give yourself a little bit of time, be consistent, and you'll get great results. But if you go too hard too early, you'll likely heighten injury risk, and then you'll become demoralized and fall back into bad habits. Something I say, number 3, is environment dictates outcomes. If all your friends are going to the pub or going to a coffee shop and eating donuts and talking bad about others, that's your environment, and that's not really conducive to growth and progress. So if you are embarking on a health and performance journey, choose a friend or friends who are maybe a little bit ahead of you. I did this with running. I used to anchor a negative thought process towards running, and now I identify as a runner. In fact, this week I've done one 18-kilometer run, one 19-kilometer run, and also a 16K run. So I'm feeling great because I've made that shift. But early on when I made that shift, it was all about environment. I removed all friction, which is number 5, because my friend used to pick me up to take me to Richmond Park, nice environment, loads of deers, loads of health conscious people on bikes and running. And then we did a run together, we had great conversations, we'd have a coffee at the end, and then he dropped me home. So I set the environment up for success. And also, that leads me to number 5, I removed friction from the process. So it was super easy for me to get the habit, get the wheels in motion. And now I'll gladly go out and run by myself. In fact, the last 3 runs I've done have been by myself because early on I set my environment up for success. So whether that's a group with friends who are also on a health journey, whether there's a challenge, a bit of a competition that you're going to work towards, maybe it's your first ever 10K, just ensure that people are aligned to that and assisting you with that, and your environment is conducive to that goal. The KISS approach. Keep it simple, stupid is what it simply stands for. Is simplicity wins. We said on point number 2, don't do too much too soon. Keep it simple. You haven't got to follow the exercises you see on social media where everyone's doing all these flash exercises. The fundamentals have withstood the test of time for a reason. Some squats, some hinge motion, some pushing, some pulling, some bracing through the core, and a little bit of energy system or conditioning work. Keep it simple, and again, don't do too much too soon and go crazy. Maybe later down the line when you have a higher training age and you're more conditioned to the gym itself and lifting weights, then you can get a little bit more flash. But certainly early on, nail the fundamentals, do them consistently and see incremental increases in load, and you'll get great results. We've touched on number 5 anyway, remove friction. It could even be as simple as getting your gym kit ready. And I still do this, and I've been training for, well, a long time. I get my kit ready because it's a single of intent. I remove all friction of thinking, I don't know where my socks are, it's dark, it's early in the morning, I'm just gonna leave the gym. So remove all friction, make it easy for yourself, like I did with my friend. Didn't like running, but he picked me up, he took me to the park, and then we got a run in and had a great conversation. And we also, at the end of the run, number 6, had reward success. You have to have a reward mechanism in place. You could have an intrinsically driven reward. Okay, my mood's better, I'm feeling good. But I'd actually early on have an extrinsically driven reward, whether that's at the end of our runs. We used to sit down and have a coffee. And it was a nice reward after we'd done 7K, 10K, whatever the distance was. Another thing you could do is, if you reach a goal, going back to, you've got to set clear goals, otherwise you don't know where you're going. When you reach that goal, reward yourself. It could be food related. If you wanted that burger and chips, then fine. It's not going to mean the wheels fall off if you have it once. In fact, it'll probably reset you to get back on track with the next phase of your training. Equally, if you've been in the gym and your gym trainers are a little bit beaten up now because you put in the work, go and reward yourself with new gym trainers. And then the next time you set a goal, say, okay, actually, I'm going to get that new outfit. I'm going to get whatever it is that resonates with you, but only do it when you've reached that goal. So these are my 6 steps to optimizing your health and performance in 2025. Set clear goals, don't do too much too soon, create an environment that's conducive to success, follow the KISS approach, keep it simple, stupid, remove all friction, make it easy for yourself, and also, when you reach that goal, reward success.